Day 4, Genesis chapter 40 through the end of Genesis. We're talking about Joseph. After being sold into slavery by his brothers, he is now in Egypt, the right-hand man of the Pharaoh. His brothers, during this time, because there's a famine, are coming into the land and they're looking for food, but they meet Joseph, the guy in charge of all of this. And Joseph recognizes them, they don't recognize him, and little do they know, he is actually the person who is put in charge to keep back enough food so that the people didn't starve to death during the famine. So he could have shoved them off, not given them any food, put them in jail, killed them, but what did he do? It says in Genesis chapter 45, verse 5, to his brothers, "Don't feel badly, don't blame yourselves for selling me. God was behind it. God sent me here ahead of you to save lives." Because Joseph was in charge of making sure everyone had enough food, he saw it that God had purposefully put him in this position, and he didn't hold a grudge against his brothers. He spent 13 years in slavery, 13 years as a slave or a prisoner because of what his brothers did to him. But he didn't hold it against them. He was now the governor of Egypt for 9 years. And the clue to his health and the clue to his happiness was the fact that he didn't hold a grudge. He was very forgiving. Joseph didn't desire revenge on his brothers. He didn't even want them to feel guilty. And, we can't... we don't have a lot of control over other people's actions in our lives. We can't control what they do to us. We can't control how they make us feel, but we can control our actions towards them. And we can control whether or not we hold a grudge. Jesus says, "Forgive and receive forgiveness. Give and receive blessing. Release others and be free yourself." If you want to be closer to God and if you want to be happy, then you need to let go of the issues that you're holding on to and the grudges that you have against people. So when we get done with this video, I want you to think about the grudges that you're holding and the revenge that you want to have against the people who have done wrong to you. And I want you to release that. I want you to give it to God and pray that God will purify your heart from that revenge. You don't need that on your life. You don't need that on your heart. And God doesn't want that in there. So I pray that today that God will convict you of that and that you will just give that to God and release people of whatever they have done to you and forgive them for that, because you deserve to live a happy life away from that revenge.